Someone in okay, the mouth is not working. I need to do my mouth exercise. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canada, in Edmonton, Alberta, to be more precise. Our new catalog went live on, what day is it today? Yesterday, the 5th. So I can finally open the catalog and show you what's inside. Yay. Although I have shown you a lot of the products that are inside, today I'm going to be using one of the suites that's in the catalog, um, along with, this might be a little bit longer of a live than I normally do. I'm doing two fun, so normally I do 3 cards. Today I'm doing 2, but they're fun folds, and one of them is quite elaborate as so in the past, I don't think I've ever done it on a live. I tend not to do the fun folds on my lives. I don't do a lot of fun folds, to be honest, but I do get a kick. I do. So I have um, a competition within myself. I always have to one up myself for my kids' cards and my husband not as much, but my kids for sure. I've always tried. I think I just want to make them go wow. They're boys, so like doing like fancy flowers and stuff isn't gonna cut it. So I try and do, some mechanical fancy fold engineering feats. So anyways, I do play with them, but not a lot. And then I every once in a while, there's demonstrators that reach their 1 million milestone or 2 million or whatever it is, and Stampin' Up! Sends them a beautiful card. And some people post them, some I don't know if they all get posted, but sometimes I'll see them and be like, wow, I want to remake that one. And I did make a similar one last year to one of the demonstrators, for my son for his birthday. And then this one, um, was for Rachel Tessman. She just reached her 2 million milestone. And so they'd sent her this beautiful, elaborate, and I did not do the whole thing. They had like the card within a paper made frame, and it had a cover, and oh my God, it was like layer after layer after layer. This one has quite a few layers. It'll take a bit. I've tried to pre-cut everything so it'll go a little bit faster. Um, but yeah, hopefully it'll show you. It's not difficult. It just takes a little more time than the quick and easy cards to produce. So it's not a mass produce card at all. Neither of them really. But I do have some birthday milestones of friends coming up, and I just thought, you know what, why don't I try this out and get some cards going. So yeah, something different today. I mean, I'm showing you a new suite, but we're doing fun folds instead of maybe techniques, which I guess fun fold is a technique in itself. So yeah, there's also the starter kit special that's for the month of May, where you can get the starter kit as usual. So the $135, you get to choose $165 worth of product. Oh, I just said I was gonna double check this. I think it's still that. All right. And then on top of the $165 worth of product, no shipping, and in Alberta, no tax because we only have the GST. So it's a really good, like your $165 is just product. And then on top of that, you can get the 5 new in color stamp pads in the new style with the magnetic. Okay, so these are next year. All of our ink pads are going to switch over to these. But for now, it's just the new in colors that are in them. So I believe they go for $20 a piece, or that's what they will be. As the set, they're discounted a little bit, but for this month, if you get the starter kit, you can get them for free. So that's a great deal. Or if you don't want the stamp pads, maybe you don't collect stamp pads, maybe you don't want the in color stamp pads, you can choose to get an extra $50 worth of product instead of the stamp pads. So Options galore. If you have a wish list of $135 or more, this is the way to go. All right. Let me get us turned around and we can get moving because this is going to be a little bit of a longer one. Oops. Last week I had my camera on, sorry, upside down than I normally do, and I was all frazzled because I started late and I can't, as usual, my video on my iPad is behind. Come on, catch up. I did forget to say, if you're watching, let me know you're watching. Say hi, hit the like, share the video if you enjoy my videos. You can share it at the end. If you're new here and you want to see what it's all about, welcome. So yeah, this is the velvet me meadow. See, I hate, it's not the same. Like I think it's the velvet meadow sweet. See, now I can flip in front of you. Velvet meadow. So the one thing I didn't get, which I was wishing I had when I was making the second card, was the velvet assortment. So you can get actual velveteen specialty paper, and it would be in bubble bath, peaceful pine, which is one of the new in colors, and white. So it's great, but the designer series paper has velvet on it, so that's what I've used as my, it actually made making these cards simpler because in the original cards, they were all embossed in some way, and you had an extra layer of embossed cardstock and all the things. Whereas with the velvet on the paper, it's like having an embossed paper ready made. So it made my life a little simpler and quicker and easier. So it's a simple bundle. I don't think the bundle is very pricey because it is a smaller, as I tossed it away. So this is the one complaint I have. They don't have the prices on the page with it doesn't break out the sweets, but the sweet is 109. So then you have to go over, this is a very different layout. I should actually do a video on how to find what you're looking for, because then they have I haven't marked my um, catalog yet with some stickies so I can find, but there's like the bundles and then there's the stamp set, and it repeats and it tells you if it's part of a suite, and it tells you so like here, this one's part of a suite. It tells you how much the bundle is, but again, it doesn't divide out if you want just the dies or just the, then you have to go over, wait, let me just find this bundle that we're working with here. So this bundle is $55.75. So it's one of the lower priced bundles because it is smaller. But it's lots of fun to play with either way. So yeah, and then there's like the stamps. So again, the stamps are here. And there's another idea, but then it tells you it's part of a suite and part of a bundle. But the stamp set is 28. And then there's a whole section of just the dies. And then you'll find the die and it'll tell you if it's part of a suite and part of the bundle. So it tells you that it goes with something, but you have to search one at a time if you're trying to find pricing, or you can just go online and find the prices, which is probably the easiest way to do it. And then it's got these cute flowers, which I've already shown you. All right, let's get started. Oh, I forgot one more. Where did it go? Oh, I left it on my printer. I told myself not to do that, and then I did. So now that it's May, there's a new product of the month. It is called Berry Botanical Vellum. At first, it's funny because I just looked at it quickly and I thought it was more designer series paper, but it's actually vellum, and it's hard to tell. They must, maybe because they put it on white. I don't know. It'd be cool to see it in person. So our error in the catalog, our mini catalog that just retired, it had misprinted at 5. So up until April, we were able to get the product of the month at $5. Now it's what it was always supposed to be. So now it's $7 for the product of the month when you spend $100 or more. So keep that in mind. Okay, so for the first card are a little bit simpler cards. They're very similar in their overall look, but they're very different on the same way. Okay, so this one starts very simple. It starts with an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock. This is the thick basic white. And then you're going to want to score it on both sides at 2. Let me get the blade out of the way so I don't make a mistake with that. So I want to score it at 2 1/8 and at 3. And then I'm just going to flip it over. I could do the math and let you go across, but then you have to open the ruler and all the things. So I find it easier just to flip it over. I don't know about you guys, if you have a preference on how you like to measure and do things. Okay, and so I guess technically this is a pop-up bridge card, but then there's a twist to it. So you're going to take your 3-inch marks and you're going to fold them down. So a mountain fold. So you've got those. So now you've got like a U, and then the 2 2 1/8. Then you're going to come up like a valley. So it looks too big right now, right? Like you're like, Linda, this isn't going to fit in an envelope. It's 5 by 5.5. And I say, but it will fit in an envelope because to close it, so this is how it'll be open, but then to close it, you just flip it like so, and then you have a 4 1/4 by 5.5 card. Okay, so this is our base. Set that aside. Then we've got a whole bunch of pieces and parts. I've got a piece of 3 um 3 by 11. So again, you can use, I think I used thick, but you could use basic white. It really doesn't need to be thick. And I'm just going to score it at 5.5. Okay. And then this is kind of a note card within the note card, and that's going to go on our top piece, and your message is going to be on the inside of the card. So now it's just, you've got your card laid out. Then you just need you could use some embossed paper. You can use, but like I said, since this paper has the beautiful velvet on it, it's like it's already artfully done and embossed. So kind of the lazy way to do things. This has the little white, I don't know if you can see the white velvet. So I'm going to put one of each of these here, and then I'm going to put this one on top of my card base. So I'm just going to glue these down. I love this paper. Actually, it's funny because I don't like busy paper. I'm running out of glue. But even like the other side where it's subtle, and then just with these fun folds, it's fun to have, like I said, that velvet. And when I saw the paper, I wasn't going to buy the bundle. I was just going to buy the paper, but then it's always handy to be able to, I actually was really glad I had bought the bundle for this, because then you can add all the pieces and parts, especially when you're doing a fancy fold where there's lots of layers, it's nice to have more than just the paper. And the dies are very handy in that they cut out, hang on, can't talk and and glue apparently. Make sure that that's kind of lined up there. Um, what was I saying? Oh, I've lost my train of thought. Um, oh, I think I was saying it cuts out the some of the flowers in the designer series paper. So you don't even have to like stamp and cut. You can just cut and it's all very nice and pretty and done for you. So then it's gonna look like this. And I didn't, this, to save myself some paper, I didn't cut the paper all in a row because I figure it's covering up part of it anyway. So the fact that it doesn't meet up is not the end of the world because it's popped up. So you just think the matching part is tucked under. So I'm not too fussy about that. And then to glue this piece down, I prefer to put the glue on this part because it's smaller than this one. So then you're not going to have any glue hanging over the edge, which is always a good thing. And then we can just kind of make sure it is even there and then have an even amount on either side. Okay, so we've got our first part of our card, and then again, you've got your card within a card. And then we've got, I cut out with the Stylet Shapes dies, cloud cover and a white. And then I pulled in, I cheated a little bit. I pulled this in from the scalloped blooms. I wanted a happy birthday that was big enough and like kind of filled in a lot of the circle. So that one came in handy there, but you could use anything. And if you know, maybe it's not a birthday card that you're making, so you can use whatever. I used the Berry Burst, which is one of the colors in the suite. And then on my original, I didn't stamp, I didn't put any extra flowers other than the embellishments, but maybe I should have stamped like maybe in cloud cover. We'll do a little something something here. Let's go like that. A little extra decor. And then we'll just stick this down. I realized I didn't turn on my, hi Linda, didn't turn on my lights. Let's see if it's a little bit better. A little bit. Not so dark. I should have turned on my streaming lights. I turned them on to do my pictures this morning and I don't leave them on because I tend to get a headache. And then, and then I forgot. Anyways, okay, so then this is going to go in here. Now, you don't have to worry too much about if it hangs off a little bit because you do have this much room on either side where it won't hit the card. So you're okay that way. So then I just pop this up on some dimensionals. I am making some fancy fold cards today, Linda. And one of them is a big 5x7. And I know you said you had some special fancy cards you needed to make. So maybe I don't know if you're already done your all your cards, but yeah, isn't this paper? Do you have this paper? It's so pretty. Oops, I love the velvet. It's it's subtle. It's not some of it, actually, some of it's really busy, and I was like, oh, I'm never going to use this, but you're going to see I used it on my other card, and it's actually really pretty. Okay, so that's the inside, and then you could add some flowers to it here. Um, I don't know if this seems a little big. Let's see. I think I want to use 3 different colors. I could use white, I guess. Or we could just go 1, 2, 3. That's good. Okay, so this is actually the inside of our card. So now probably should have glued I probably should have glued it down beforehand. I should have glued my flaps. And again, I was saving paper. I already had this cut. They don't match. It's better. I think it's better if they're closer to matching, but it's not the end of the world. Like it's such a busy paper. I figure I can get away with it. They're actually, oh, I guess not for this one, but for the next one, I thought of another combo that would make the next card super quick to make. It would just be a matter of putting it together, and then you could use the ephemera packs and because there's designer series paper that goes with them. I'm just gonna flip this over so it's flat. Okay. So then the card ends up like this. And when it's open, it's like this. And I can't figure out, like it'll lean because of this opening. I'm not sure how to fix that part. I probably should have put my sentiment lower down, but I didn't want to cover up the flowers. Anyways, so that's not finished yet. Then we need to make a belly band, and we're going to take some vellum, and we're going to go 3 by 11. And we're going to take our card, and we're basically going to start and fold it around. Now you don't want to do it super tight, but you don't really want to do it super loose either. I made my first one a little too loose, I think, because you want it to be able to slide on and off, but you don't want it to, allow this to really pop open. So I think that's probably good. And I'm just gonna cut a bit of this off so it's not so long hanging over, because it'll get hidden. I want my seam to be hidden by my decoration here, so I could probably cut it even a bit more. Cut both ends a bit more. I don't want to cut it too much and then it doesn't overlap. That would be bad. Okay, so then we can cut this one a little bit. There, perfect. Okay, then we can put some tear and tape. So if I put one on this side, and then I can put one on this side. And you probably want to stick it together while it's on your card, just so you can, there. So it does let it pop open a little bit. Then I've got 2 circles just for, the circles aren't 2 for any reason other than to make it a little bit stiffer, because I thought maybe it would keep it closed a little bit better. These are the spotlight on nature, spotlight in nature, something to that effect. Okay. Okay, got all the messiness out of the way. If you don't, that's the one thing I don't love. Do you guys know the wax paper trick that you can run your dies through with some wax paper and it'll make the paper stick less? I should do that with this, because unless you clean out the die of all the little pieces that stick to it every time, then you get this cleanup every time. If it's clean, then it cuts it cleanly once because everything sticks in the, but if not, then you get a nice big mess. Okay, so I've got my circle here. Then, like I was saying, there's the paper can get cut out using the dies. So there's 2 whole pieces of this 12 by 12. And these flowers cut out perfectly, and they have little velvet centers. So you can cut those out. I wish they had cutouts for the leaves, but you could fussy cut them if you wanted to, or there's other leaves that you can use, of course. So here's a pre-cut flower. And then I've got the stamped stem and a couple of leaves. And then we're just gonna, where did my dimensionals went missing here? Okay. So the way I like to get the flowers on is kind of figure out where they need to sit. And then you can kind of put, unless it moves. And I can put my dimensional on and hold it in place while I put the rest on. Just some small ones. And then I like to use the edges for the stem. Like so, although I forgot. Usually I'd put this on first. Okay, so if we want some leaves here, you want to fold that down with that. Then we'll put dimensional here. And then I think we'll put our other one on after the fact. So I'm going pretty quick with this one because the next one is quite long. This one is fancy, but with just in the way it ends up folding more than anything. So then we can put this one, we'll just put a dimensional, oops, dimensional there. Like so. And then that just gets stuck onto the belly band. I think I put dimensionals on too. I used scrap paper for that. But I forgot to pre-cut out my sentiment. So this is from the stamp set, So Many Reasons to Celebrate, and I used the Stylish Shapes dies again. So that just goes on top like so. So it kind of takes away from that really busy paper, and then you've got a simpler, and it actually, I got my inspiration from the catalog. I thought about using so they used the busy paper here, and then they had the banner dies. I had thought about using the banner die, but that would have hidden, you know, a lot more of it. So anyways, I changed it to a circle, but that was my inspiration for the front of the card anyways. And then you've got these, so you open it up and you've got like a whole different card going on. See, it's like two cards in one. All right. So that's card number 1. Not so bad. Not so hard to make. Card number 2 is a whole lot of pieces and parts. I think it's easiest if you pre-cut everything and cut out all your embellishments that you want. But like I said, I think had I been thinking, I should have done this one using the Everyday Essentials and some of the ephemera set. Like it, it would have been a totally different kind of theme, but they all match together and the colors match together. So if you don't want to have to cut out things and emboss things and do all the work, you could just pull this out, cut your cardstock and your designer series paper, and off you go. You could have a really blinged out card with not with much less time. I might make one after just to see the difference. So I'm going to show you the actual card ahead of time, because otherwise I feel like there's so many parts, you're just going to be like, what is she making? If you want to try and follow along, you can. I have all the measurements, but you might have to hit pause or replay. So here's the card. It's a 5x7 card, and you can see it's a thick one. It's not a it's not a thin card. It's got this cool it's not a belly band, but it's a slider, and it slides off these two angled flaps. And then we've got this inner flap, and then you flip it open, and then you could put a picture here, and we've got the designer series paper, and then it opens up, and then you've got your message card inside the pocket. So, there's lots of just making sure you have all your little pieces cut and ready to go, and then you get your card and your card, and then this is actually quite easy to make. It's just a matter of making it. So I made the mistake. I know it's said to use two-tone designer series or two-tone paper instead of our regular cardstock, because the cardstock is so thick, and I think that's why it's bursting so much. So for this one that I've cut, I only cut the base as regular cardstock because I already had it out, and then I cut the two-tone cloud cover Although it looks wrong to me. I don't know. It almost looks like pool party, but it was in my cloud cover case. So I don't know. Like, doesn't that look, I don't know if it's off or not. It looks more greeny blue, like, especially compared to this. Like, I feel like that's pool party. Well, it goes with the the green underneath. I don't know. It works. Either way, it works. Thanks. Okay. Yeah, so this is the super busy paper that I was like, when am I ever gonna use this? But it's actually like, isn't it pretty just as a background itself? Like it's, and then you don't have to do much to add to make prettiness out of it. All right, let's start at the beginning here with the very first piece. So for the first piece, let me get my cutter out here. We've got the card base, and the card base is 7 by 8.5. So we want to flip it so that your 8.5 is this way and 7 is this way. And I forgot to put the score marks on my little post-it note here. But you want to score at 1 3/4 on each side. So let's get the blade out of the way. I'm going to score at 1 3/4. And 1 3/4. And now this middle part should be 5 inches, which it is. So that's perfect. You know you've done it right. Because our card is going to be 5 by 7. So this is a bigger card. If someone's special. And just by knowing what I'm going to do next while I'm here with this, I'm going to shave like a 1/16 of an inch off on each side. So just kind of that dark part of your cutter, that's what I'm cutting. Not not scoring, cutting. It just, you'll see, it allows the everything to fit that little bit nicer. Okay. So once you've done that, then we'll move on to our top flap, which is, why isn't it marked here? That was as the top flaps size. Did I forget my top flap? Oh, here it is. Oof, thought I forgot it here. Okay, so our top flap is going to be 4 7/8 by 7 3/4. And we're going to score it at 7 and 7 1/4. Okay, so score it at 7 and 7 1/4. So we've got the two lines there. Finish those. Okay, and then we're just gonna cut this end piece at an angle here, just so it gets hidden behind the piece that it goes on. And then that is going to go here, and I can't remember now. See, now this looks funny. Oh, Linda, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? I don't know why this is so off. Like our card stock is usually so good. I wonder if I just mixed up my papers. I'll have to double check. Okay. I can't remember if I did the sides or the top first, but I'm just gonna put it on. You can use glue or you can use tear tape. I think I used tear tape on the one, but my glue is out and handy. So that is what I'm gonna do. So I feel like if I fold that down and try and line it up, and you kind of want it in the center, like it's smaller than these, and just have that. And it looks longer right now, but then when your quarter of an inch goes up, then it becomes even with the bottom. So that's that one. Then we're going to take our sides, so you should have two sides. They are 6 3/4 by 7 inches, and you want to score each of them at 1 3/4 and 3.5. So we're going to score at 1 3/4. Let me make sure I'm the right way here. My 7-inch side is this way. And so I'm going to go 1 3/4 and 3.5. And again, with this one, I'm going to shave that 1 1/16 inch off the 1 3/4 edge. And then I'm going to do the same thing again with my 7-inch piece going that way. So move the blade. 1 3/4, almost had an oopsie on that one. And 3.5. Again, the reason I go back and forth so much is because I'm putting very light pressure. I don't, with the two-tone, I don't want to tear the paper. So I just go over it a bunch of times to avoid the tearing. Okay. So now we've got our base, and we're going to make a mountain with the first part and a valley with the second part. Okay, and then that's gonna go on one side. And then same thing over here. We go mountain and valley. And then it should fit nicely on top of there. Okay, like so. And then we're going to end up with the dark here, but that gets covered. So I'm pretty sure we're okay. Now, I did this yesterday, and look at how my brains don't work. I'm trying to remember what I did to cut. Oh, yes. Okay. No, I can't remember if I did it once it was glued down. I think it'd be easier once it's glued down. That way you don't mess it up as easily. Okay, so because this is going to have to get cut for the angle. Oh, no, that's what it was. Did I cut it at the same time? I think I might have. So if we go like this and we cut it and then we split it across. Oh, no, I remember. I remember. Okay, we're gonna take this piece. I should have written way more instructions down. Oops. And then, so this one is 4 5/8 by 6 7/8. And we are going to cut it. Now I have to think at the 1 inch. No, that's the wrong way. Nope, that's the right way. Okay, so our corner is at 1 and our other corner is at 1. So you've got this corner at 1 inch and this corner at 1 inch. And I hope I'm doing this right. And then we cut. So we've got 1 inch and 1 inch, and they should be pretty much the same size. And then we're going to just freehand cut a piece here. Oh no, call me crazy. We're just gonna like that. Okay. So we've got our pieces cut here. And then bring back our base. So we're going to glue this down here. So I prefer to put the glue on the base. And I like to use glue because then you have that few moments of movement to be able to line things up just the way you want them. Okay. And then this one. I am right-handed through and through. Okay. Oops. There we go. We've got the start of good things. Then we have to make sure our flowers, because we flipped one over, right? So then we're going to glue these down onto our flaps here. It's not nearly as scary as it looks. And then we'll put glue on this one. And do you see how you could, like the one I had seen that Stampin' Up had made, they used the Nature's Symphony, Nature's Harmony. I can't remember what it's called. Cardstock, but they also had used an embossing folder to decorate instead of having obviously embossed paper like this. Now I really need to get myself a pair of large paper scissors. Since I don't have, I would rather use my cutter. Now you kind of have to eyeball it, but the way I eyeball it is I try and get the edge of my designer series paper to kind of line up with the brown so it'll leave 1/8 of an inch. And then when I close it, I can kind of see it's not going to be perfect, but it'll be good enough. And it'll be straight, which is the biggest thing. And then this one I can freehand because it's a smaller area. That's not as scary. And then again, for this one, you want to try and line it up again. And then, oops, it's wanting to put, it's hitting, my card is so long. It's hitting pieces. Okay. So there's that. And then we'll snip. I apologize if the dogs start to bark. I see there's a FedEx truck that just pulled. Hopefully they won't ring the doorbell. Okay, so that's we've got a good start to this. It's actually better than I was thinking. So that's the front. That wasn't so bad, right? Then we can put our designer series paper. Get that on here. This probably you could do last, but they're just sitting on top of everything. So you could cut 2 3 1/4 by 6 7/8 and then cut them in half. Or you can just cut 4 1 5/8 by 6 7/8. These ones I wanted to go in order so that they match because they're right, at least 2 and 2, because they're right next to each other. So I think these two line up and these two line up. So I'm gonna just glue those down. The more pieces I can get out of the way, I feel like it's like more progress. Less, and there's less pieces in the way. Oh, look at, they didn't bark. Nice. They've come a long ways. Okay, so that's those two. What do you guys think? Do you think you would try? Do you guys make fancy folds? Do you go all out and do some intricate cards like this? Or are you more quick and easy, regular size? Do you make 5 by 7 cards? I don't make a lot, but I do if it's a special occasion and if I have the time. I do like to get fancy. I don't always leave myself enough time to get, oh, is that right? Is that the way it goes? Must be. That doesn't look right. Oh, I bet you it was supposed to go this way. Yep. Eek, eek, eek. Oh, it's already down. Oh well. All that worrying about matching it and then I didn't match it. Oh well. It's close enough. Good enough. Whoever gets it, hopefully they haven't watched this and then they won't know. Okay, so then it goes like this, and like this, and like this, and like this. Okay, perfect. Now we need to, what is our next step? We can do a little bit, I'm just trying to think if we want to do all the paperwork first and then start decorating the stamping. Okay, let's so this is the pocket and the inside pocket. We'll do that in a sec. This is the insert. Oh no. Did I used I used no. What did I do? Oh, I just didn't cut myself a piece of white. That's what's going on. I'm like, what? Something's missing here. I forgot the white piece. So if this is 4 and 5/8 and 6 and 5/8, it'll be 4 and 3/8, right? Inside pocket. No, that's the pocket. Yes, 4 and 3/8 by 6 and 3/8. Pippa. Sorry. 4 and 3/8. Okay. By so there's 6 and 3/8. I don't usually get disturbed by them. 1, 2. Oh, this is the tough measurement. 1, 2. It must be right on the edge here. Okay, perfect. All right. So we've got this is our insert that goes inside the pocket for our message. And then I took my cloud ribbon and my punch go. I like to use this is super old. This was a Stampin' Up! Punch long ago, rectangular punch, and you don't want to go too low. I made a mistake last time and I went a little too low, so I'm going to go a little bit higher. Maybe I want to go over because I don't want to hit the pocket with my knot, I guess is what I've learned. Okay, so I've got that. And then I like to use the hole because it just makes everything so much simpler. It makes tying a bow or a knot so much easier for some reason. So I like to use this. So then you pull this end tight so that the hole is showing. And then you come up again, pull it through, make sure your ribbon is on there. And we just pull it through like so. And then you can just tie it on either side. And then it's super easy. You could leave it as a knot. You can turn it into a bow. I'm just going to leave them hanging like so. And then if you want to add a little bit of fanciness, we can stamp, but I'm going to stamp everything all at once. So I'm going to leave this aside for now. I think I'll do the pocket next. So we have the pocket, which is 4 1/4 by 6 1/2, and we want to score the right side at a 1/2 inch and the bottom at a 1/2 inch. Okay, so you've got that. Then we're gonna cut this corner off by cutting it at a diagonal. You can just freehand that. And that way when you fold these over, they're not competing with one another. And we also need to cut a piece off of here. So once again, we're going to start our edge at, wait, am I holding this the wrong way? No. We're going to start the scored edge at 1. And then we're going to come and bring the scored edge down to the cutting. So we're going to cut it right down to a point. Go like so. So that's what it's going to look like. And then you've got, this is going to be your pocket, and then you'll have a bit of extra hanging there. And we're just going to cut that off. Okay. Now, I guess I can't keep going yet. I have to, if you want to have some stamping on your pocket, you want to stamp it now before it gets too bulky and hard to stamp on. I just took this little kind of leafy guy and stamped him. I don't know. Feels like there's some missing, but okay, and then that can get put together. So we have the inside of the pocket, which is it's gonna sit like this, and that's your pocket, and then you're gonna put that on top of the card. So you want to put some glue or seal or whatever you want to use. Oh, it keeps sticking to my thumb for some reason. So you're going on the inside of these. So the inside pocket is just under 4 7/8 and 6 7/8. So like you're talking 1/16 of an inch, but it's easier just to find the 7/8 and then just go in by 1. I find is the easiest. Okay. Fold that over. Fold that over. And then you've got your, oops, I must have had some ink somewhere. Okay, and then you're going to either put snail or glue, and then we're going to glue it down into our card here. So you want to make sure you're not on top of any fold lines. Okay, and then our insert is going in here, so you can see I just missed that. That's why I wanted it over a little bit and higher so it doesn't hit the pocket. And then this will go like this. And then these, nope, that's not how it goes. These will go like this. This will go like this, and then like this. Right, yes. Okay, so then comes the decorating. Our card is essentially made, and now it's just a matter of what do I want to add to decorate it. So I've pre-cut, um, this is all the front birthday stuff. This is the new, the words, what is it called? Um, I used it last week on one of my cards, the words and wishes. I love when you have like the nice big happy birthday with the shadow behind it. So that's what I used there. And I cut 3 of the shadows for each so that it really pops it up. And then I used the gold foil for. Now, the one thing I don't like is the little dot for the eye is separate. And I know I put it in here. It's somewhere in here and I hope I don't lose it as I'm going through all this. It's probably stuck to something. Oh yeah, we still have our little front piece that we have to do. Hopefully it's in this. Oh, no, let's see. No, that's not it. Hopefully I'll find it. Okay, so for the pocket, I used this. So this one goes with the three prong stem. Oh, actually, yeah. And then um, you could you could pop it up because this knot is already popping everything up. I didn't pop my original, I popped the sentiment up instead. So you can just glue this down. And then these fit in a way that it's kind of cool how it's all just, you just fit it based on the look, how it fits. It's kind of like puzzle pieces. Okay, and I forgot to take out a piece to do my sentiment. I might have to use I ended up using some of these sentiments from here because there aren't that many sentiments in this set. It's the Greetings for All Mix and Match. These have continued on into the new catalog, so they're still available. So if you want to keep on the theme of birthday, I had put on my original so many reasons to celebrate, and I still could, I guess, but I won't do that right now. We'll just save some time. And then for this one, I stamped directly on the paper, and I need this one and Peaceful Pine. I didn't think I would like Peaceful Pine. I'm not a huge green fan, but I think it's more of it's a cooler, like it's got more blue than yellow, and I'm quite liking it. Okay, and then for the flowers, I guess I don't need the green. Let's close that nut. For the green, we need for the green, for the flowers, we need Bubble Bath and Berry Burst. And we need the flowers. So we're going to ink the flowers in Bubble Bath. And then we're going to take our sponge dauber and just give it a bit of highlights. And we hop on it and line it up. we've got our flowers. And then if you want the little insides. I love how it's all together, like you do the two at once, so you don't have to find each spot. It just lines up easy peasy. Yeah, the dot is a. And the other thing I don't like is, and I don't know if they're all like this because I've only done the happy. I thought it was only the birthday, but even the happy, the H is separate also. It's not all one. So it is a little bit more finicky. But so that's my decor for my inside here. And then for these pieces, you could do some stamping or you could add some more pieces and parts, whatever. I ended up using, where did my cloud cover go? I think I'm going to do it differently this time. So I had done three of these. Hopefully I'm not off camera right now. And I think instead of, I had done the big flowers, but I think I'm going to do this little guy here. Because I think he's oh so cute. I don't know if I'm tempted to try a different color, but I'm worried what it'll look like on the cloud cover. I guess I could have tested it out on here. So we could try, like, say we want to do, let's see if we wanted to try and do a purple. I guess that's not bad. And then if we wanted, say, the green. It's cute, but then it doesn't match this one. So that's where I feel like either you want to do cutouts, like ephemera type stuff, or like the die cuts, or just stamp it color on color. Okay, so those are done. Then we need something decorative up there. For that, I cut out this cute little, if I can get it. I need my putty. I have no nails. There. That works better. And then we'll put a dot of glue here. And then we'll stick that down. No, this doesn't look good. I know. Ah, I'm not finished. I ended up doing the white. I'm gonna let that glue dry a bit before I get it on my marker. And then I'm just gonna take my berry burst and add some color. To this cute little flower. Oops. Hopefully there's not too much glue on there. You could put multiple of those. Probably want to do multiple of them, but I only cut one. So I'll just show you with the one for now. Pretend there's more decor. And this is the thing, like this is where you can go as elaborate or as simple as you want. You could even put more designer series paper if you wanted to, didn't want to do as much work on the front end. Okay, and then I added "Oh Happy Day," so I added another sentiment. I'll show you the finished card, so you can see. And then so for this part, I added some flowers that I cut. So this is the one from the designer series paper. This is stamped and then die cut. And then we have the leaves. And then I added a sentiment. And then we have to make the front of the card. And I don't think I'm going to go through the whole thing because we're already well over an hour. But here is so I've got I did the three, I glued these three shadows together. Oh, I think I see oh no, I thought that was the eye. I don't know where my eye is. And then I have the birthday, and then these I did cut out with adhesive sheet, so at least it is easy to stick. I know my eye is in here somewhere because I put it in there. But then you just have to glue it down, which is pretty easy. So you have the happy, and then I stamped and die cut. So these ones I did myself. They don't have the velvet on them the way or you could die cut more if you prefer these ones. And then to make the slider part, that's the most important part because you're going to decorate whatever you want to decorate. So basically I cut 3 circles. I punched 3 circles with the 2 3/8 punch. So these are just 3. You're going to fold 2 of them in half. You could score it in half if you prefer. I do it the lazy way. And then you're going to want to glue half onto each one. So and then this. And then we're gonna just glue that onto the cloud cover. And this one is the large of the Stylish Shapes dies. Okay, and now before you add your pieces onto the circle, the important part is that you make sure that this is, did I just do this wrong? No. You want to make sure that this piece you slide onto your card beforehand because it's at an angle. And so it'll determine how your circle sits. So you want to make sure your circle is sitting the way you want it to sit and then add your pieces. Otherwise, it might end up like this or like this. You don't know. So make sure your circle is on and then add whatever you're putting on top. But let's see. So this is the finished one. with the sentiments. So there, I just stamped a few things. So it's just very simple. You could totally dress it up. I did sprinkle some Wink of Stella on there, and then I used the Oh Happy Day from the ephemera. And then there was just some stamping and one flower, but like I said, I think I want more flowers. And then you've got the so many. I did this before I decided I was using those as extras, so I think maybe this should be black with the white. I think it would look better, so it's all the same. And then with the gold, it's fine, but white and um black. But yeah, so that's the finished version. And you can do this one of two ways. You can kind of open it and just kind of slide it in, or you can slide it up, whatever's easier. And then so for the unfinished one, I just want to see if it sits better being with the two-tone. Then it still puffs up, but not as, oops, not nearly as much. Oops, I squished it. I guess you'd need, maybe if you made a bigger circle, or I was thinking if you did like a narrow belly band that came off of here and then the whole thing, but then it would be hard to know because this comes at an angle. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's a problem because if it's in an envelope, it doesn't matter that it's kind of cool. I really like this angle. I think it's cool. Anyways, I think it's a fun one. I really like the angle of it too, and I really love this paper. I feel like um it really makes the card, it elevates the card. How about that? But that's why I think I feel like the rest of this seems too plain because this is so beautiful. I feel like it all needs that or something. I don't know. I feel like it needs something more. But I'll keep playing. I'll keep adding. I'll probably add more to this one and see what I can do. But hopefully that inspires you to make a fancy card. I'd love to see what you make. If you post it, tag me. If you just want to send it to me, I'd love to see what you make. Well, hopefully this was a good one for you. Let me know if you enjoyed the fun folds. And now I'm trying to think. I will be here next week. There's one of the weeks, Wednesday. I'm going to switch a day, but I will post it if it's moving. Anyways, hope you have a great rest of your week and a good weekend. Happy Mother's Day for all you mums out there. Yeah, I keep forgetting Mother's Day is coming up right around the corner. But yeah, so hopefully you have a great weekend and it's nice and warm and you can get outside and enjoy the weather. All right. See you next Wednesday. Bye. Oh, if you haven't already hit the like, please. Share, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. I'd love to grow my channel. Thanks again for watching. Bye.